if you've had a look at the slides online, then you wouldn't have seen this one because I only put it in about, I don't know, half an hour ago. So this is the team of people that we've got working on the project. So you've got myself down the bottom left there, and you've got Raphael and Zhenyang, Igor, Samir, Nelson, and then Frank and Shu Yao also are doing some support work as well. So if you see names in Slack channels, then these are the people involved. So today, I'm going to really quickly race you through some stuff. So what are we actually working on? And let's wait for it to turn up. All right, so we all know what primary retrieval is, where you are getting the information directly back from a miner, and you've got to really know where the content is. Secondary retrieval is trying to have that high availability off-chain sources that can really try and get you that low latency that Juan was talking about earlier. And so you also want to be able to discover where content is as well. And we want to have a market mechanism for it. So having another look. So this is that primary retrieval where you need to know where the content is. And so what we're trying to do is come up with a system where we have discovery, we have caching, the latency is really low, it's massively scalable, and there's an incentivization scheme. And so we've got this idea of a CID offer. And so the idea is that this is essentially a retrieval miner saying, look, I will give you this content, I'll supply this content at a certain price, and this offer is going to expire on this date. And so doing that sort of having an offer means that rather than having to have have the sequence on the left, you can have the sequence on the right. And so that takes out one whole round trip, and taking out a round trip reduces your latency. And as the other thing that it gives, though, is that you can have these CID offers in a node which is actually near the user. So rather than the user having to ask all of the miners, hey, do you have this content? How much can you supply it for? You might have a gateway close to you that can give you all of the offers all in one go. And again, that really reduces latency. And a thought that we've conceptualized is also actually having these gateways cache local content that's hot. This is not implemented yet, but that again would massively reduce latency because you would have content that's near you. So we've got the idea of a single hop DHT. And so what this is all about is that even if a single node is not going to be able to keep 2 to the 60 CIDs all in one computer, it's just not possible. And so the nodes will have to be relatively selective about what content they understand where it is. But as well, we've got a DHT, which essentially stores CIDs with gateways that have similar IDs. And the reason for this is that then all content can be discovered. So if you're a certain gateway, you know another gateway that will be able to tell you where some content is. And so we've got a single hop DHT, so you can do direct lookup. So the roadmap is, and so, caveats, all the normal caveats, these are plans and things change, but the long-term plan is this, where you've got a overall system. So I'm going to just walk you through this and give you a few colors. So you've got your client, your application off to the left there, which has a library that it integrates with, and it can talk to gateways and say, hey, what content is available? I've got this CID, this piece CID, where, who's storing this content and how much can I get it for? And then they will be able to either have the information directly because it will have been published by retrieval providers that they've subscribed to, or they might have to use that single hop DHT to talk to another gateway to find out where the content is. So we've, to allow discovery between the gateways and also between these provider components that are publishing when content has been stored, and publishing those offers, you need a registration system. And so our thought is that we'll have an inbuilt actor that will be integrated into the Lotus nodes. To administer the systems, you also need a admin app and and that would integrate with a retrieval gateway admin library and the provider library. And so that's the overall system that we're working towards. And so right at the moment, we've got POC 1, which is available right at the moment. And that gives you essentially a system which is not connected at all to the Filecoin system. We thought and to have as rapid development as possible, we would just work on stuff that was isolated from Filecoin. And so you've got gateways that get published information from providers. You have the client library, which can interrogate gateways. And so you're able to publish some data via the provider, which publishes it to the gateways, and then the gateways can be administered, and then you've got the client. So at the end of June, we're going to be having payment channel integration, and we're going to be aiming to have that client library not just in Golang, but in JavaScript as well, and have that single Hop DHT working. And then for, as a stretch goal, it'd be great if we can have some wallet capability into that client library as well. Another thing that we're looking to do for the end of September, so when we're finishing this initial MVP, is have that registration service as an inbuilt actor in a Lotus node. As well, try and deploy the system on a testnet and have it production ready. But there are more possibilities. And so a really big possibility actually is something that's not retrieval based, but storage based. So at the moment, you know how you've got a lot of latency involved and a lot of round trips to do these storage deals. So wouldn't it be good if, similar to the retrieval CID offer, so that offer where you're saying, I will give you this content at this price. If you had a miner that says, I've got space, I've got enough space, and I'm prepared to store, say, a certain size at this price per megabyte. And so then people can take them up on their offer. So you don't need to do as many round trips to do a deal. You essentially will have it's like a blank check kind of saying, look, if you sign this, then we've got a deal. And yeah. The other thing is having those caches in network. Another thing is payment brokers, and it's interesting to hear other teams are also thinking about this sort of thing as well. And so that would facilitate payments between entities that don't have payment channels set up yet. And that will greatly improve the system there, because then you'll be able to have clients be using gateways that they don't have payment channels with. And you will allow the gateways to not have to worry about having payment channels with all the other gateways, which is important for the system. So what did we deliver in POC 1, to be precise? So I'm going to race through this quickly. So we had, as I showed in that other diagram, we had the system. So we've got an integration test system, which is our essentially application. We also had some documentation. We had the client libraries, which will allow you to integrate with the system, and the actual node. So the retrieval provider, gateway, and register. So the register was a mock for those inbuilt actors. And so the first thing the integration test system does is it configures the system. So it generates a key, puts it onto the retrieval gateway, so the retrieval gateway key, and then it registers that gateway into the contract, the register. You then configure the provider, and so you set the provider up and maybe put some content into the provider, so it's got some CID offers, and then you put it into the register. And then the gateway and provider discover each other. And then you so you tell the client, look, I trust this gateway. And so it's something that we're going to use for doing retrieval offers. You then talk to the register to say, all right, well, this is this gateway that I want to use, and you find out where it is in the so what its IP address, what port it's using, what key it's using, and then you contact it. Oh, yep, and then you publish that content into the provider, which publishes it to the gateway because the gateway is subscribing to content from that provider. And then you, from the integration test system, you use the client to request that offer, and then you've got the CID offer. Other thoughts? So I think that these storage offers could really give a lot of advantage to the Filecoin network. I think that then you'd have, pre-signed offers, so that then you could just have this small client library, which you could say, I want to store a file, and then it can talk to a gateway and get a pre-signed offer, sign it, store some data. So to my mind, it feels like something good, but maybe I'm missing something, or yeah. So anyway, that's all from me. So thank you.